It's December in Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, and the Ulungur Lake has frozen over with a 50-centimeter thick layer of ice. Concealed beneath is a valuable harvest. Wang Sanduan supervises as fellow fishermen drill holes in the ice and set up nets in selected spots.
我知道哪头鱼啊，因为这个就是说经常在这转圈儿，它在这一块水域它可以摸索出来。另外就是看鸟，鸟是跟着鱼群跑，就在这一块区域上哪里鱼多，鱼是集中在哪个地方，是常年就集中在哪里。
Seasoned fishermen know where to look for the fish beneath the ice. To survive the cold, redfin perch and zander will store sufficient fat before the onset of winter, making it the prime fishing season. Covering more than 1,000 square kilometers, Ulungur Lake is one of China's 10 largest freshwater lakes. It's home to over 20 fish species. During fishing seasons, locals rely on the lake for their livelihoods. Throughout the course of human history, communities have grown up beside water bodies, as they provide sustenance and security. Having 6% of the world's total freshwater resources, nowhere is this more true than in China. Erlitou village nestles on the Qinghai Tibet Plateau at an altitude of 3,800 meters. By October, winter is already setting in. Early in the morning, Rakshi and his children begin stacking hay, which will be used to feed their livestock during the coldest months. Rakshi's mother drives their cattle to the riverside nearby. This will be the last opportunity these animals have to enjoy grazing and drinking from the river before the harsh winter arrives. In the Tibetan language, Erlitou means hidden paradise. From a bird's eye view, the village is surrounded by magnificent snow-capped peaks, collectively forming the Erlitou Glacier. The abundant glacial meltwaters contribute to the largest lake system in eastern Xizang, Ulungur Lake. The villagers of Erlitou depend on Ulungur Lake and the rivers it nourishes for their daily needs. There's a Tibetan belief that all things possess a spirit. While fetching water, people will pray to gods of the mountains and lakes, expressing gratitude for the blessings bestowed on them. Sustained by the nourishment of snowmelt, generations of people have established roots in this vast wilderness on the plateau. The 6 glacial areas that make up Erlitou Glacier not only sustain life on the plateau, but also benefit people and lands beyond China's borders.
冰开始融化以后， 它一方面在高原内部就形成了很多的这种湖泊，那么在高原的边缘，它就顺着这种河流，它就会流到周边，比如说我们的长江、黄河、澜沧江、怒江，然后这边的雅鲁藏江，在什么印度河，在西北部的塔里木河等等，源头都是有连串的。
Flowing in harmony with the contours of the land, these winding streams travel eastward across China, eventually becoming powerful rivers and large lakes. Water is intricately intertwined with human existence. Sometimes forceful, sometimes serene, water has sculpted the world in which we live. In Lungwan village of Gansu province, Li Yingbin and his neighbors set out in the early morning with sheepskin rafts. They plan to transport local specialties to sell at a market 70 kilometers away. The village sits in a bend of the Yellow River, China's second longest river at 5,464 kilometers long. The river winds like a dragon as it passes through Gansu. Before the roads were built, the Yellow River was the sole gateway to the outside world for the residents of Lungwan. Locals here have used sheepskin rafts as their primary mode of transportation for generations. A sheepskin raft is assembled from more than 10 inflated sheepskins, making it compact, lightweight, and perfect for transporting goods over short distances. The stretch of the Yellow River around Lungwan village flows rapidly. It is obstructed by imposing cliffs which redirect the water's course and create small and large whirlpools.
两个大漩涡，你是中间湖，不要成两方嘛，两方嘛你旋进了，旋进去北京很好说话去，咱都是一个圈两个圈就旋。
Despite a lifetime of navigating these waters, Li Yingbin is still cautious as he paddles his way along the tumultuous Yellow River.
当然了，一般你把这个桨捉好，不捉你哗哗的把你围里面。 从浪架旁边哦，对它是一个草，你从浪边上把你打开了，必须从浪架走。
By the evening, the group has finally reached their destination. As they have done countless times before, the villagers unload their cargo and pack up their rafts. After a good night's rest, they will head back home at daybreak.
我们是在这农民啊，靠这个黄河，吃的黄河水，用的黄河水，哎，没有这个自带黄河水，我们农外人来别的村上都不干啥，所以我们是好的这个黄河。你看我们是现在农民啊，不管搞啥的，就是开这个黄河，没清河。 要是我们这个。
For centuries, individuals like Li Yingbin have relied on the Yellow River for their livelihood. As the longest river in northern China, the Yellow River crosses 9 provincial regions, supporting millions of people in a basin covering almost 795,000 square kilometers. Despite being known as the Mother River, the relationship between this grand waterway and the Chinese people has not always been an easy one. Kaifeng in central China served as the capital for 8 ancient dynasties. New visitors might not know that beneath their feet are the remnants of 6 cities spanning nearly 2,000 years. Xinzheng Gate, part of the outer city during the Northern Song period, 960 to 1127, has revealed a wealth of historical treasures. Archaeologists excavating the site have unearthed not only city relics of the Northern Song dynasty, but also ancient gates and pathways from 5 other dynasties. These layers of historical remains have been aptly named City upon a City.
城老城其实是一个通俗的一种称呼，这种现象在考古学上体现的就是不同时期的文化城的相互叠压，从上而下依次叠压的有清代的开封城、明代的开封城、元代的汴梁城、金代的和北宋东京城，还有古代的汴州城，埋藏最深的战国时期魏国的大梁城。
Over a period of nearly 2,000 years, each one of these cities shared the same common fate. They were all eventually buried under loose soil. The reason for this lies in their close relationship with the Yellow River. Originating in the Qinghai Tibet Plateau, the Yellow River winds through upstream gorges, carrying millions of tons of silt each year as it courses through the Loess Plateau. Upon reaching Lungmen in Henan province, the river quietens as it flows into the vast plains along its middle and lower reaches. Efforts to control this section of the Yellow River involved the construction of embankments. However, an unintended consequence was the continuous and substantial deposition of silt in the riverbed, resulting in its gradual elevation. This gave rise to the perilous occurrence of a suspended river in places like Kaifeng.
河里溶的这些泥沙呢，就都沉积下来了。沉积下来以后，河床就慢慢的抬高，抬高以后冲出了两岸，就改道，就找一个最低的地方重新流，就决口改道迁徙，这样永远不断的淤高，永远不断的决口，永远不断的把最低的地方填高，从这个西汉以来的2000多年里头，黄河下游有记载的决口漫溢，超过1500-1600次，并且呢发生了26次大改道。
Flooding repeatedly ravaged the area, resulting in the riverside Kaifeng being buried under loess time and time again. Yet the river did not bring only hardship. As the floods receded, new lands emerged. The village of Erlitou lies in the middle reaches of the Yellow River. In 1959, archaeologists stumbled upon a vast prehistoric cultural site. Despite 60 years of excavation, less than 2% of the area has been unearthed. The Erlitou Relic Museum will soon open to the public, showcasing 6 decades of archaeological findings. Museum staff have been arranging artifacts for display. One prized exhibit is a turquoise dragon-shaped object, approximately 65 centimeters long, which was meticulously crafted from over 2,000 small turquoise pieces. Together with other unearthed relics and the site itself, it provides a glimpse into an ancient and grand capital.
二头遗址呢，据我们勘察的结果呢，它的现存面积达到300万平方米。在这其中呢，我们现在脚下踩的呢，就是我们发现的中国最早的工程，它的面积达到10.8万平方米。尽管它只是明清紫禁城的1/7左右，但是它这是3000多年以前就有了跟明清紫禁城在布局上一脉相承的壮观的都城，我们管它叫中国最早的紫禁城。
In addition to architectural foundations planned along a central axis, archaeologists have also discovered China's earliest examples of an urban road network, state-operated craft workshop, and bronze casting and turquoise manufacturing workshops, as well as a collection of ancient bronze ceremonial objects. The findings signal that Erlitou is not merely a primitive settlement, but a crown jewel of prehistoric culture in North China.
它是东亚大陆最早的核心文化，在这之前呢，没有核心可言。它的发展高度和向外辐射的力度都远远超越了自然地理单元的限制。那么它的辐射范围呢，几乎达到了秦汉帝国的版图的范围。也就是说，它开启了中国古代礼乐制度，甚至整个政治制度的先河。从这个意义上讲呢，它就是最早的中国。
In China, 4,000 years ago, prehistoric cultures sparkled like stars. Why did the Erlitou culture in the Yellow River Basin shine so bright? This relates to it being on a tributary of the river, meaning it was less affected by flooding on the main channel.
那黄河沿岸有许多的一级支流，比如说像渭河、像伊洛河、像汾河等等，他们在注入黄河干流的时候，都有一个这样的三角地带。这个三角地带呢，既能够获得灌溉的水源，同时呢，黄河的这种泛滥又不会影响到这里。在这里呢，往往是早期农业的一个重要的立足之地。
早期住在黄河流域的先民呢，就要付出更多的努力。咱们生产力相对低下，那么我们就通过调整社会组织结构来维持人类的生存和发展。说白了，就是各个部落得协调，把供应面最大，形成的合力最大，也就是最终发展成了国家。
Consequently, ancient people irrigated and cultivated grains on the fertile alluvial soil deposited by the Yellow River tributaries. The Erlitou culture emerged and radiated outward through water conservancy and interactions with neighboring tribes. What followed was the rise and fall of dynastic centers of power. The Yellow River gave birth to China's political culture and shaped its political wisdom. Controlling this volatile river has long been a desire of the Chinese people. Now it's becoming a reality. In Mengjin, Henan Province, the Xiaolangdi Reservoir Dam is a critical water control project in the river's middle and lower reaches. As the Yellow River enters its flood season, the annual regulation of water and sediment at the dam begins.
从6月中下旬的话，我们这个小浪底就会接收黄尾的大流量下泄的指令。7月1号以后，就我们水库降到230以下有，它这个泥沙的话，必须是在这个比较较低的这个水位，基本上在220左右，整个黄河的这个
泥沙的这个排沙的效果是比较好的。
With all 3 gates of the dam open, water gushes out. When the reservoir's water level drops to a certain point, the 2 upstream reservoirs will begin to release water again, creating an artificial flood peak. This annual practice carries out sediment deposited at the Xiaolangdi Reservoir and downstream riverbeds, reducing downstream siltation and controlling elevation of the riverbed.
黄河的治理呢是一个系统工程。我们黄河上目前已经修了像龙阳峡、刘家峡、三围峡、小浪底这些骨干工程。那么我们规划呢是7座骨干工程，就形成了全河的水沙调控体系。这个体系完善之后呢，应该说对上游也好，对下游水沙都可以进行调控，也为这个河床不抬高地方不决口提供着强有力的支撑。
Through water management systems, experts hope to ensure that sediment won't cause problems in the middle and lower reaches of the Yellow River for the next 100 years. Water is crucial for human survival, yet it also provides one of our most insurmountable natural obstacles. The Chinese have made remarkable progress in responding to floods, from initially fearing them, to intercepting them, to eventually harnessing their power. For inhabitants in the north, being able to tame wild rivers was critical. However, in the south, the relationship between people and water paints a different picture. Spanning over 6,300 kilometers, the Yangtze River is China's largest river. Its basin covers an area of about 1.8 million square kilometers, 1/5 of the country's total land area, crossing the entire south from west to east, almost in parallel with the Yellow River. Due to the abundant rainfall in southern China, the Yangtze River basin boasts a runoff 20 times greater than that of the Yellow River. Today, the Yangtze, especially its lower reaches, is renowned for its picturesque natural landscapes and abundant resources. Yet, over 2,000 years ago, it was far from the ideal place for settlers. The Shishou Milu Deer National Nature Reserve forms part of the Jianghan Plain along the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River. It's home to the world's largest population of Milu deer, around 2,500. In fall and winter, the Milu deer shed their antlers. Around this time, workers at the reserve will collect these antlers to monitor the deer's health.
一般呢就是掉在这个有坡度的地方、有坑坑的地方。它还有一个什么呢？动物啊，它又喜欢么子呢？因为这个脚啊，就比方说它有一个坎是吧？蛮高的坎，这上面它查，磨，哎，它自己它也要想一个办法呀，对不对？或者在树上面挂在这个树上面呢，也就把它弄一下，哎，就掉下来了。
Milu deer are excellent swimmers and prefer to graze on tender grass and aquatic plants. This warm, moist marshland is an ideal haven for them. However, for humans, this waterlogged area once posed a significant obstacle to daily life and productivity.
那个时代，整个南方是名副其实的水乡泽国，到处都是河，到处都是水。 而且还有很多的沼泽，生活在那里的人，其实更重要的不是如何依托水，而是最大限度的避免由河流乃至于湖泊这些水给自己带来的这种危害。
我们今天应该认为，黄河流域的气候条件比长江流域差，但是至少在 秦朝、汉朝以前，那么是恰恰相反。长江流域呢， 就气温偏高、湿热，再加上它原始植被还没清除，那么潮湿，地下水位高，地面呢这个沼泽地也淤积的比较多，那么在这个情况下面呢，它不太适合人类生存，特别是不适合北方人迁移过去。
Prior to the Han Dynasty, southern China was often depicted as a marshy region, abundant with thickets, sparsely inhabited by humans. However, in the 4th century, to seek refuge from conflict and disease, many northerners began to migrate south in the hope of surviving in this new land through diligence and ingenuity. The Hangzhou Plain in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze is characterized by low terrain and a dense network of rivers. In this area, a versatile agricultural approach has been passed down through generations, and it has long been known for its production of silk. It's the holidays, and today Tang Shui-yi will join her family for the first time to collect leaves for their silk farm. As she's starting from scratch, everything about silk farming or sericulture is new to her.
阿姨，那这个采的话，哪些是不太好？
这个桑叶呢可以吃的，这个小叶太嫩了，小菜吃这个桑叶，大菜来吃这个桑叶。
Silkworms are delicate creatures, highly sensitive to temperature, humidity, and the freshness of their food. Silk farming is a prevailing occupation among households in Digang village. These women are adept sericulturalists, skilled in raising silkworms and producing silk. But that's not all the locals are knowledgeable on. The scarce land within Digang is predominantly covered with mulberry trees. Their leaves provide ample food for the silkworms as they enter a crucial developmental stage. The waste produced by the silkworms is then scattered in ponds enclosed by mulberry trees to feed the fish. Digging fish ponds in low-lying marshes and encircling them with mulberry trees to feed the silkworms is an ecologically friendly practice that has existed in Digang for at least a millennium. It's known as a Dike-pond system. Following the silk harvest comes another abundant yield.
今年的这个鱼塘呢养得比较好，大丰收了，今天呢捕了大概有12000多斤鱼，这个价钱呢今年要好于往年，卖了10万多一点。
Winter is approaching, and once the fish are harvested, the locals waste no time in tending their farms. After draining the fish ponds, they excavate the silt and deposit it under the mulberry trees around the ponds to enrich the soil. In spring, farmers will collect the new leaves that sprout from the trees to feed the silkworms, continuing this cycle year after year. The mulberry fish ponds are only a small part of how land is utilized in the Yangtze River basin. Facing prolonged summer rains and recurrent flooding, people here have built embankments along low-lying areas adjacent to the river banks, as well as constructed canals and sluices. This water flow system, known as weiyuan in Chinese, helps provide drainage when there's too much water and irrigation when there's not enough.
通过一圈的这个堤防把这片土地给它圈起来。另外呢，在围堤上会有一些闸门来控制。它主要解决2个问题，一方面呢就是进水的问题，也可以说是灌溉的问题。当我围内的农田水量不足的时候，我要有途径能够把外面的水能够进来，那我也需要有足够的手段。如果我这里面水量太大，淹掉农田的话，我能够把这个水自来水给它排出去。
围院内部呢是围起来很大面积的耕地，这里面都是可以说是中国最好的耕地，可以种水稻，也可以发展桑基鱼塘啊，都是没问题的。小的围院可能只有几十亩、几百亩，大的围院可能是几十万亩，不光养活几十万人，甚至还为外边的更多的人提供商品粮，提供这个粮食的这种供给。
Between the 5th and 13th centuries, Weiyuan systems gradually took over valley areas in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze. Using this ingenious method, the Chinese people transformed hostile marshland into flourishing agricultural bases with their own hands, contributing to a surge in population and an economic boom across the Yangtze River basin. After the Song dynasty in the late 13th century, the region gradually surpassed the north to become a new economic powerhouse. To survive, the Chinese people have constantly adapted to and reshaped nature. Yet, their diligence and wisdom extends beyond using the natural water systems along the Yangtze and Yellow rivers. They endeavored to overcome geographical barriers to better connect northern and southern China through waterways. Pingwang, a small town in Suzhou, is intersected by the Grand Canal. Jiao Xinggang and his colleagues in the Pingwang Maritime Affairs Office conduct daily patrols along this section of the canal. Today, the team needs to deal with an obstruction in the canal.
前面那个船，你注意了，前面发生堵航了，赶快减速了啊！2686，听到没有，船老大，保持安全航速啊！你可以停车了啊！本航次你从哪里到哪里的？
航次从太仓到武江。
请您出示一下证件，我们进行一个安全检查。现在主要是船越来越大了，啊，以前的船都比较小，现在船确实越来越大，打得越来越大。那么这个航道还是这个航道，所以显得就更拥挤。
Roughly 100 ships pass through the Pingwang section of the Grand Canal every day, navigating between various docks and towns. The section is a crucial part of the water transport network within the Yangtze River Delta region. China's Grand Canal spans approximately 3,200 kilometers, encompassing the Suitang Grand Canal, the Beijing-Hangzhou Grand Canal, and the Eastern Zhejiang Canal. Connecting 8 provinces and municipalities, it links the Haihe River, Yellow River, Huaihe River, Yangtze River, and Chentang River. It is the world's earliest and most extensive man-made waterway.
中国地形西高东低，所以我们的大河都是向东流。南北之间缺乏这种大的河流，而在古代呢，这种水运又是最廉价和便捷的，所以挖运河自然而然就出现了。
In China, most river systems flow west to east, separated by watersheds. To facilitate travel between north and south, people envisioned building a canal to alleviate the difficulties in overland transportation. However, this extensive project faced serious challenges beyond just its length.
现在这个岩板呢，应该是说那个早期的40吨重的船要在这个上面，拉上去，那坚固的，就是马上觉得
Water historian Cho Jie-rung is conducting a survey of the Tsao River Dam. The dam sits between the Tsao River and the eastern Zhejiang Canal. Boats travelling between the river and the canal rely entirely on a ship lift to navigate across the dam.
现在我们看到是个升船机，就机械跟电力结合的。那古代的时候，它没有这种设施的时候呢，那么这个船呢要把它拖上来。小的船当然可以人工的，稍微大的船它就必须那个用牛把它拖上来。北宋的时候，它是怎么描写这么个情景的？万牛回首，怎么通过牛的这种力量，这种一种把它牵引着，把这个船呢牵引上去，过了眼半。
Due to the different water levels in the canal and the Tsao River, navigation was constantly hampered by inconsistent water flow. So, during the Tang dynasty, people built a dam here to separate the canal from the natural waterway to ensure a stable water level and flow of the canal. The Tsao River Dam is just one of the many ancient masterpieces in engineering.
你比如说大运河跨过山东地垒，也就是说这个泰山的余脉，那是40多个闸，42个闸连续运行。它的机理就是跟现在的船闸是差不多的，就是水道输水的这个，然后起闭，它要通过这个注水调整上下游的水位差，让这个船一级一级的翻过坝，来满足这个我们的船只翻山越岭的这个需求。
闸和坝呢，应该说是运河上用的数量最多、分布最广的这样的一种工程形式。它的具体的功能呢，就看把它安到什么位置。你放到横截运河的位置，那它就是一个节制工程跟一个通航工程。但是如果放到运河的堤上，那它有可能是一个进水工程，也有可能是一个排泄洪水的一个排水的工程。 中国的这个大运河就从南到北这条线，它基本上也遇到了几乎所有水利要解决的这些技术的问题。运河上出现了几乎所有中国传统的水利工程的形式。
Over thousands of years, the Chinese people have exhibited exceptional creativity to surmount obstacles presented by imposing geographical features. By connecting northern and southern China, the Grand Canal significantly influenced the course of China's history. Inside these sealed containers are grains dating back over 1,000 years. They were discovered in 1971 during the unearthing of a large Tang-era granary. This is where the grains were discovered. Staff at the museum have to use ladders to reach the cellar floor. The cellar spans 11.8 meters wide and plunges to a depth of 6.2 meters.
我现在呢，就是在这个160号仓窖的仓底，我眼前的这一层层的黑黑的，就是碳化的粮食。我们如果凑近看的话，它的这个颗粒感还是很清晰的。我们把这个当时遗存的这个粮食的密度和现在的粮食的密度进行一个对比，然后推算，这个仓窖在当年应该能储存50万斤的粮食。
Just one cellar could store 250,000 kilograms of grains. One can only imagine the scale of the Hanja granary, which comprised hundreds of these cellars. Historical records suggest that the grain stored in the granary accounted for half the nation's reserves. It was unquestionably China's most important granary.
这个是因为有这个洛阳的地理条件确定的，然后洛阳的这个绥阳大运河。 它北边通到华北平原，然后南边呢连接着淮河流域和 长江流域这一片这个附属这个区域，这些区域产生的生产的这些粮食呀，就可以通过大运河很便利的运到洛阳来。统治者又把这个洛阳作为陪都，把它作为国家的一个重要的粮食储备点。
Construction of the Sui-Tang Grand Canal began in the early 7th century during the Sui dynasty and reached a peak in the Tang dynasty. This canal, centered in Luoyang, extended north to Zhuozhun, a modern-day region of the south of Beijing, and south to Hangzhou and Ningbo. After the canal's completion, water transportation of grains replaced the more troublesome overland routes. Later, the Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties based their capitals in Beijing, resulting in the Sui-Tang Grand Canal being replaced by the Beijing-Hangzhou Grand Canal.
要没有这条大运河，北京成不了中国的首都，那没有解决粮食供应啊。另一方面呢，没有这条大运河，可以说从元朝开始，元明清3代的统一也会受到挑战。
就是说，长江流域跟黄河流域实际上是一个统一体，它经济上是互流的，人口上是流动的，文化上是互流，它成一个整体，这个力量比你一个流域要大得多。我们可以通过运河把它连起来。
Thanks to the canal, vessels carrying rice, timber, silk, salt, iron, and other goods from the Yangtze River basin could reach distant northern regions. Throughout Chinese history, the Grand Canal has closely linked the economic hub in the south and the political center in the north. Today, the canal and the natural waterways it connects will remain crucial to China's regional transportation network. However, modern Chinese aspirations extend beyond linking the north, south, east, and west of China. They aim to forge connections with the wider world. To boost capacity along the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River, a regulation project is underway in a section of the waterway from Wuhan to Anqing. The main challenge lies at a place called Daijiazhou. Daijiazhou is an island in the middle of the river that splits the water into 2 separate channels.
其中这个右岔是我们的主航道，为这个直水道啊，左岔是原港水道，目前是不通航的。水流进来分开了之后，进口这个主航道这一块水流冲刷力度不够，就会容易造成淤积。
小刘，叫老宋把那个细节绳啊，叫他拉紧。对，就那个地方。
Engineers are laying down flexible concrete mattresses in the river. Once in place, rocks will be dumped on top of the mattresses, forming a stone dam underwater. These dams will divert more water into the main channel, which will help clear away silt and sediment on the riverbed. When the project is finished, the depth of the waterway from Wuhan to Anqing will increase from 4.5 meters to 6 meters. Cargo capacity will also double from the original 5,000 metric tons. The upgrade will allow many heavy cargo ships to navigate freely between the river and the sea.
咱们国家建成的高等级航道，主要还是集中在长江、珠江2大水系，再加上咱们贯通南北的京杭大运河。2021年呢，咱们水路完成的营业性货运额有82亿吨这么多，承担了大量跨区域的货物运输，90%以上的外贸物资的运输都是水运完成的，所以说它是综合运输体系重要的通道和咱们走向世界、连通世界一个主要方式。
This is a story about water, rivers, lakes, glaciers, and marshes. Across this expansive land, water has fostered incredible diversity. It has nurtured the very land that the Chinese people have thrived on, supporting 5,000 years of magnificent civilization. From the Yellow River to the Yangtze to the Grand Canal, using water as their tool, the Chinese people are continuing on their epic journey of survival and development.